Welcome to Damnable Delvings, horror fans. The holiday season might bring snow, twinkling lights and cheerful carols, but beneath all that festivity lies a darker side. Perfect for chilling tales. Welcome to Damnable Delvings, where we explore the shadows of cinema, and today we're unwrapping a special treat: Christmas horror films. From sinister Santas to haunted holidays, these films twist festive cheer into something frightfully fun. So, grab a glass of eggnog, dim the lights and join us as we delve into stories that turn candy canes and Christmas trees into harbingers of terror. Whether it's blood-soaked, ghostly, or disturbingly surreal, these picks will have you questioning just how merry this season truly is. The familiar warmth of Christmas, family gatherings, Santa Claus, sparkling decorations becomes eerie when subverted. When the expected turns sinister, it's especially disturbing, making for memorable frights. Winter itself amplifies the tension, the isolation of snowed-in settings, the silence of a frozen landscape, and the vulnerability of long, dark nights all set the stage for terror. Add in family drama, unresolved grudges, or the creeping fear of something unknown, and you've got a recipe for holiday horror! This blend of festivity and fear creates a genre that's equal parts jolly and jolting. It's a reminder that even in the glow of Christmas lights, shadows linger. To celebrate this twisted tradition, I've rounded up some of my favourite Christmas horror films. These gems range from proto-slashers to psychological thrillers, offering scares as diverse as the gifts under your tree. Are you ready to unwrap the nightmares and delve into some terrifying presents? Let's dive in. I'm going to start with kind of an obvious one. In Krampus, from 2015, director Michael Dougherty brings the ancient European legend of Krampus, the sinister counterpart to St. Nicholas, into modern holiday horror. The story follows Max, a young boy disillusioned by his family's chaotic Christmas. After tearing up his letter to Santa in frustration, Max unknowingly summons Krampus, a horned creature who punishes the wicked. Trapped in a snowstorm, Max's family faces Krampus and his terrifying minions, including monstrous toys, gingerbread man, and twisted elves. Thematically, Krampus explores the darker side of holiday cheer, emphasizing family unity, holiday spirit, and belief. It serves as a cautionary tale about the consequences of cynicism and selfishness during a season meant for togetherness. This film critiques Christmas consumerism, contrasting material excess with the true essence of holiday: family, hope, and goodwill. Dougherty, known for Trick or Treat, blends the charm of classic holiday specials with horror, using practical effects, animatronics, and puppetry to create a tangible sense of terror. Drawing inspiration from European folklore and Christmas traditions, he mixes dark humour and supernatural scares to craft a uniquely warped holiday tale. Krampus stands out as an innovative holiday horror film, blending genuine scares with dark comedy. It reintroduces folklore to mainstream audiences, offering a fresh take on what might be lurking beneath the Christmas tree. Let's go right back in time now for a proto-slasher that's still one of the best. Black Christmas from 1974, directed by Bob Clark, is a groundbreaking slasher film that helped define the genre and introduced many of the holiday horror tropes we see today. Set in a sorority house during Christmas, the story follows a group of college women whose festivities are disrupted by a series of harassing phone calls. As the calls escalate, the women begin disappearing, hunted by an unseen killer hiding within the house. The film builds relentless tension, culminating in a chilling and ambiguous ending. Thematically, Black Christmas explores the hidden darkness of the holiday season and serves as a commentary on violence against women. The faceless killer embodies the terror of unseen dangers, particularly within what should be a safe space. The sorority house, meant to be a refuge, becomes a prison as the women face growing isolation and fear. The film also critiques societal inaction, with law enforcement portrayed as ineffectual, reflecting a broader failure to confront violence and danger. Bob Clark crafted a film that relied more on psychological tension than gore, using atmospheric suspense, distorted sound effects, and innovative camera techniques to create paranoia. The killer's identity and motivations remain ambiguous, enhancing the unease and reinforcing the theme of random, unprovoked evil. The film also pioneered the final girl trope, influencing countless slasher films to follow. The Black Christmas franchise has also seen two notable remakes, each reflecting the era in which it was made. Black Christmas, or Xmas, directed by Glenn Morgan, We embraced a gore-heavy, traditional slasher approach, adding a backstory for the killer that introduced a disturbing family dynamic. While it delivered explicit violence and creepy moments, it lacked the suspense and subtlety of the original, favouring shock over psychological terror. Black Christmas, from 2019, directed by Sophia Takal, reimagined the story via a feminist lens. It focused on a group of college women confronting a malevolent fraternity, weaving themes of misogyny and abuse into the narrative. While it aimed to modernise the story with social commentary, it received mixed reviews, with some feeling it prioritised its political message at the expense of traditional horror elements. However, its political focus is in line with horror's history of reflecting societal issues, making it a standout remake for its bold approach. However, neither remake really captured the full dread and nuance of the 1974 classic, although I do prefer the 2019 film out of the two remakes. The original Black Christmas, however, remains a cult favourite, celebrated for its innovative approach and lasting influence on the genre. 10 years after the release of Black Christmas came another holiday horror that has found its way into being a cult favourite. Silent Night, Deadly Night from 1984, directed by Charles E. Sellier Jr., is a notorious slasher film that sparked controversy upon release. It tells the story of Billy, a boy traumatised by his parents' murder at the hands of a man dressed as Santa Claus. Raised in a harsh orphanage, Billy grows up to fear and hate Christmas. As an adult, he snaps, donning a Santa suit and enacting bloody punishments on those he deems naughty. The film blends psychological horror with slasher elements, using Billy's descent into madness to explore themes of trauma and repression. The Mother Superior, a symbol of oppressive authority, contrasts sharply with the festive but superficial image of Christmas. Holiday decorations and cheerful carols become eerie backdrops for violence, creating a stark subversion of Christmas traditions. Upon release, Silent Night, Deadly Night faced significant backlash for portraying Santa Claus as a murderer, prompting protests from parents and censorship demands. Pulled from theatres after only a short run, it nonetheless gained a cult status over the years for its bold premise and its role in holiday horror. The film's legacy includes 4 increasingly disconnected sequels, each shifting away from Billy's story to explore bizarre, supernatural and occult themes. While these sequels have never matched the original's impact, they have their own appeal for fans of quirky, low-budget exploitation horror. Should we lighten things up? Let's lighten things up. What follows now is a film that has probably gone under the radar for a lot of people, and may have put some other people off due to its subject matter. I'm not referring to the horror, of course, but the fact that it's a musical. Anna and the Apocalypse from 2017, directed by John McPhail, is a one-of-a-kind blend of zombie horror, musical comedy, and Christmas cheer. Set in a small Scottish town during the holiday season, the film follows Anna, a high school student navigating the challenges of growing up, whilst a zombie apocalypse disrupts her festive plans. Alongside her friends, Anna must fight for survival against the undead, often bursting into song along the way. At its heart, the film is about resilience, friendship, and finding hope in dark times. The holiday setting is crucial, contrasting Christmas warmth and cheer with the chaos of a zombie outbreak. While gory and absurd, the story is infused with humour, heart, and the infectious energy of its musical numbers. The songs are catchy, upbeat, and sometimes poignant, and offer a unique contrast to the violent zombie action, creating a balance of comedy, horror, and emotional depth. Despite the chaos, the human drama takes centre stage as Anna and her friends confront personal growth, loss, and their uncertain futures. The film's small budget didn't limit its ambition, delivering clever writing, energetic performances, and a creative mix of genres. Its irreverent tone and dark humour make it a standout in holiday horror, offering a fresh take on both Christmas and zombie tropes. And while Anna and the Apocalypse features its share of gore, its message of hope and joy shines through, making it a heartwarming, bloody celebration of life and music. It has since earned a loyal fan base, especially among those seeking an unconventional holiday treat. Hey, do you fancy a short but extremely gory Christmas horror film? I'm talking really short. I'm talking Venge. Venge from 2008 is a short horror film written and directed by Jason Eisner and is a hilariously twisted take on the holiday season. In just 16 minutes, it delivers a chaotic blend of dark humour, absurdity, and over-the-top gore, turning Christmas traditions on their head. The premise is both simple and ingenious. Christmas trees, harvested and sold for the holidays, rise up to exact brutal revenge on the humans who cut them down and decorate them. Using inventive special effects, the trees become personified, transforming into vengeful, bloodthirsty creatures that unleash a violent rampage against their captors. What makes Venge stand out is its outrageous commitment to the concept. It flips the script on typical Christmas horror by making the trees not supernatural forces or deranged killers, the antagonists. The result is absurdly funny, grotesquely gory and packed with tongue-in-cheek humour, using every moment of its runtime to deliver an unrelenting carnage. Thematically, the film does take a satirical jab at consumerism and environmental exploitation, critiquing the way nature, embodied here by Christmas trees, is commodified and discarded. The tree's bloody uprising serves as a darkly comedic metaphor for humanity's disregard for the environment, adding an unexpected layer of commentary to the chaos. Despite its extremely low budget, Venge features impressive practical effects from prosthetics to inventive gore sequences, showcasing Eisner's flair for creative mayhem, something he would later expand on in Hobo with a Shotgun. With its wild premise and unapologetic execution, Venge has earned a cult following amongst horror fans, particularly those who enjoy irreverent shorts with a mix of humour and carnage. It's a perfect, bite-sized dose of grotesque holiday horror, making it a must-watch for those who like their Christmas tree served with a side of mayhem, which, let's be honest, is better than Brussels sprouts. Our next film is the highest-rated film on Rotten Tomatoes under the term Christmas horror. It's also become, for a lot of people, an absolute festive classic they watch every year. Rare Exports, A Christmas Tale from 2010, directed by Jalmari Helander, is a Finnish dark fantasy that brilliantly reimagines the Santa Claus mythos as something sinister and primal. A blend of horror, adventure, and dark comedy, it crafts a unique holiday tale rooted in European folklore and subverts the cheery image of Christmas with unsettling undertones. The film follows Pitari, a young boy living in a remote Lapland village who grows suspicious of a near excavation at a mountain known locally as the home of Santa Claus. Strange events ensue, local livestock are slaughtered, children vanish, and something ancient is unearthed. Pitari discovers that Santa Claus, far from the jolly gift-giver of modern lore, was originally a figure of terror, punishing naughty children. As the villagers confront the dark truth about the excavation, Pitari takes it upon himself to save the day in a thrilling and unexpectedly touching coming-of-age art. Thematically, the film explores the contrast between childhood innocence and the darker, more menacing aspects of folklore. Pitari's transition from a fearful, imaginative child to a courageous leader mirrors the loss of naivety as he learns the truth about cherished myths. The movie also critiques the commercialization of Christmas, hinting at the exploitation of mythologies for profit, which ties into its wryly satirical tone. Visually, Rare Exports is stunning, with its desolate snow-covered landscapes creating an atmosphere that feels simultaneously magical and foreboding. Helander masterfully uses these environments to heighten the tension, making the setting feel as much a character as the cast. Practical effects and clever storytelling on a modest budget bring the chilling folklore to life, avoiding over-reliance on CGI to maintain a grounded, visceral edge. What sets the film apart is its tonal balance. The horror elements are genuinely unsettling, with moments of suspense and dread, yet they are interwoven with a sharp, deadpan humour that keeps the film from becoming overwhelmingly dark. The result is a playful yet eerie exploration of the Christmas traditions that feels fresh and original. It does have a lot of naked old men in it though. Since its release, it has garnered critical acclaim, earning its place as one of the most inventive Christmas horror films. It's an ideal choice for those of us who appreciate unconventional holiday fare, with a mix of chills, laughs, and thought-provoking themes. If you're looking for a Christmas tale that swaps sugar plums for suspense, it's a gift you'll want to unwrap. What if Home Alone were a horror movie? That's the sort of question this next film posits, and then the film itself is sort of the answer, but also not. Better Watch Out from 2016, directed by Chris Peckover, is a deliciously twisted horror thriller that turns familiar genre tropes on their head. Set against a cozy Christmas backdrop, it begins as a seemingly typical home invasion story, but rapidly evolves into a dark and deeply unsettling exploration of power, manipulation, and the horrors lurking beneath the surface of suburban life. The story kicks off with 12-year-old Luke, played by Levi Miller, who has a not-so-secret crush on his babysitter, Ashley, Olivia de Jong. Luke's attempts to win her over seem innocent enough, until a group of masked intruders forces the duo to fend for their lives. However, the narrative quickly pulls the rug out from under the viewers, revealing a darker and much more insidious plot that pits Ashley against threats far more horrifying than a break-in. One of the film's standout elements is its clever subversion of expectations. While it begins as a homage to home invasion classics like The Strangers, it transforms into something more disturbing, peeling back the layers of Luke's seemingly innocent persona. The film explores themes of toxic masculinity, privilege, and adolescent entitlement, presenting Luke as a chilling embodiment of these issues. Ashley, meanwhile, is a sympathetic and resilient protagonist, navigating the increasingly dangerous and psychologically fraught situation with resourcefulness and strength. The Christmas setting plays a significant role in heightening the film's impact. The Christmas setting plays a significant role in heightening the film's impact. The juxtaposition of festive cheer, twinkling lights, and decor, alongside acts of manipulation and violence, creates a sense of bitter irony. The warmth of the season is steadily corrupted, mirroring the darker undertones and Luke's descent into sociopathy. Levi Miller delivers a standout performance as Luke, seamlessly shifting from charming to unnerving, whilst Olivia de Jong gives Ashley depth and vulnerability, making her a character worth rooting for. The dynamic between the two leads drives much of the tension as their power struggle unfolds in an unpredictable and increasingly shocking way. The film's dark humour adds a layer of absurdity that never feels out of place, striking a delicate balance between its suspense and satire. Its commentary on the dangers of unchecked privilege and the darker side of adolescent infatuation gives it a depth that elevates it beyond your typical holiday horror. Better Watch Out has flown under the radar for a lot of horror fans, which is a shame given its smart, subversive take on the genre. For those seeking a darker, more psychologically charged Christmas movie, this is a must-watch. It's clever, chilling, and a sharp reminder that not all holiday horrors come down the chimney. Anyway, here's one that is incredibly obvious, but it is a film that I first loved since I saw it back in the cinema in the late 80s. In the UK, Gremlins, for that is the film I am about to talk about, was rated 15. That meant nobody under the age of 15 was allowed to go and watch it. We didn't have a PG-13 rating in the UK. It was many years later when we got the 12A rating, which is kind of similar. However, my local and very parochial cinema dealt with this by putting on a Saturday matinee for children and putting a piece of blue tack over the age certification. The 80s, man. You wouldn't get away with that nowadays. Gremlins from 1984, directed by Joe Dante and produced by Steven Spielberg, is a quintessential holiday horror comedy that has cemented its place as a cult classic. Seamlessly blending festive cheer with chaos and carnage, it's a film that subverts the cozy warmth of Christmas by unleashing mischievous monsters on an idyllic small town. The story centres around Billy Peltzer, whose father brings home an exotic creature called a mogwai as a unique Christmas gift. The mogwai, adorably named Gizmo, comes with 3 strict rules: no bright light, no water, and no feeding after midnight. Inevitably, these rules are broken, and Gizmo's offspring evolve into the titular Gremlins, destructive, malevolent creatures who plunge the town into chaos. The Gremlins turn Christmas into a nightmare, wrecking homes, businesses, and even the local holiday festivities with gleeful abandon. What makes Gremlins enduringly special is its ability to balance humour and horror. The Gremlins themselves are grotesque, yet hilarious, and their antics range from slapstick comedy to genuinely frightening acts of destruction. They are both the villains and the comedic relief, embodying anarchy in its most entertaining form. However, I feel beneath its quirky premise, Gremlins explores deeper themes. Gizmo represents innocence and the possibility of good, while the Gremlins symbolise the consequences of neglect and carelessness. The film's descent into chaos is a direct result of humanity's failure to respect boundaries. The setting, a small American town during the most commercialised holiday of the year, provides biting commentary on materialism. The Gremlins' gleeful destruction of holiday symbols mirrors a critique of how consumer culture can overshadow the true spirit of Christmas. The 3 rules for caring for Gizmo serve as a cautionary tale about the importance and discipline and foresight. Breaking these simple guidelines, I know they don't make sense, leads to disastrous consequences, emphasising the dangers of ignoring warnings. The film setting is integral to its appeal. The snowy festive environment contrasts sharply with the Gremlins' chaos, turning holiday staples like carols, decorations, and even Santa suits into a source of terror. This juxtaposition enhances the horror, while adding an ironic twist to the seasonal cheer, as many of our Christmas holiday films do. The creative team behind Gremlins pulled off a remarkable feat. Joe Dante's direction masterfully balances the film's dual tones, while Christopher Columbus's screenplay injects the right mix of whimsy and terror. The special effects, led by Chris Wallace, were groundbreaking for the time, relying on animatronics and puppetry to bring the creatures to life. Gizmo, with his big expressive eyes and gentle demeanour, became an instant icon, while the Gremlins' chaotic personalities made them unforgettable villains, especially Spike. Gremlins was a box office hit, captivating audiences with its originality. It's often credited as a trailblazer for films that mix horror and comedy, and its PG-13, which was a new concept at the time, helped redefine the boundaries of family-friendly entertainment. The film's success spawned a sequel, Gremlins 2: The New Batch, which leaned even more into satire and absurdity. Ultimately, Gremlins is a holiday horror gem that continues to resonate with audiences decades after its release. Its inventive mix of humour, scares, and festive chaos makes it a perfect pick for those who like their Christmas movies with a twist. It's a great gateway horror for kids as well. And now here's a film from 2015. It's called A Christmas Horror Story, and it's an anthology film. Is it a classic and great film? No. Does it have William Shatner in it? Yes. Is that a selling point? Maybe. Is it quite cheap and low budget? Yes, it is. Is it fun, though? Again, yes. A Christmas Horror Story is an anthology horror film that combines festive cheer with dark, twisted tales set during the holiday season. Directed by Grant Harvey, Stephen Hoban and Brett Sullivan, the film weaves together multiple interconnected stories all centered around disturbing takes on Christmas traditions. The stories are linked by a radio DJ played by William Shatner, who guides viewers through the dark events unfolding in a small town on Christmas Eve. In the first storyline, the family gets trapped in a house where they are hunted by Krampus, the sinister anti-Santa who punishes the naughty. Another story follows a group of teenagers who break into their high school, only to release a terrifying ghostly force. A third narrative revolves around a couple visiting a mall, where they discover a horrifying secret about the mall's Santa. Finally, a father must battle supernatural forces to save his daughter from a holiday nightmare. The film explores themes of vengeance, punishment, and the dangers lurking behind familiar holiday rituals. Krampus stands as a central figure, offering a dark counterpoint to the cheerful, gift-giving Santa Claus. The anthology format allows the film to delve into different aspects of holiday horror, from broken families and guilt to the fear of the supernatural. Each story plays with the expectation of Christmas joy, turning into a nightmare where tradition and terror collide. With its mix of dark humour, supernatural elements, and the menacing presence of Krampus again, A Christmas Horror Story offers a fresh, unsettling take on the Christmas season. It's a good choice for those who are looking to experience the thrill of a Christmas gone horribly wrong, blending horror with the holiday spirit in an unforgettable way. Those are my main picks of Christmas and festive horrors for you, but I do have a few others that I just want to briefly mention and that you might want to try. I warn you though, their quality does vary a lot. At the lower end in the quality bracket is Elves from 1989. Elves is a low-budget horror film where a group of teenagers accidentally summon a deadly elf during a Christmas ritual. The elf is part of a Nazi experiment to create a race of superhumans and must be stopped before it kills anyone else. Combining supernatural horror with some bizarre plot twists, Elves is a cult classic for fans of obscure holiday horrors, which is a nice way of saying it's rubbish, but a lot of people really enjoy it, especially when they're drunk. Don't Open Till Christmas from 1984 is a slasher film that follows a series of murders targeting people dressed as Santa Claus in London. The film centres around a detective investigating the mysterious killings, with the killer's identity being tied to a traumatic event. The film features gory kills, a Christmas backdrop, and a dark tone, blending the holiday spirit with grisly violence. It's a Wonderful Knife, pun, from 2023. It's a Wonderful Knife is a satirical horror comedy that spoofs the classic It's a Wonderful Life by twisting the plot into a slasher film. After a tragedy strikes, the protagonist is granted the opportunity to see a twisted version of her town, where she becomes entangled in a series of murders. It blends holiday cheer with over-the-top horror in a unique and darkly comedic way. The Lodge from 2019 is a psychological horror film about a woman who gets snowed in with her fiancé's children in a remote lodge. As strange occurrences begin to unfold, she starts to lose her grip on reality, and the children's pasts come to light. It's a slow-burn thriller dealing with grief, trauma, and the haunting effects of isolation in a chilling winter setting. Santa's Sleigh, another pun, is a darkly comedic horror film where Santa Claus, played by wrestler Bill Goldberg, is revealed to be a demonic creature who has spent centuries delivering death instead of presents. After being forced to work as the jolly gift giver, Santa goes on a violent rampage once he's freed from his curse. It's a campy, gory, and humorous take on the holiday slasher genre. The Advent Calendar from 2021. This is a French horror film about a woman who receives a mysterious advent calendar that grants her wishes, but at a terrible price. Each day, the calendar forces her to make life or death decisions, leading into a descent into madness. It's a suspenseful and unnerving tale that combines supernatural elements with moral dilemmas in a Christmas setting. Terrifier 3 from 2024. Terrifier 3 is the next installment in the brutal, gory slasher series centered around Art the Clown. Following the success of the Terrifier film and Terrifier 2, the third film promises more of Art's sadistic and violent antics, continuing the series' reputation for extreme horror, disturbing visuals, and over-the-top gore. The 1972 anthology horror film Tales from the Crypt from Amicus is not a holiday film. However, the first segment, and all through the house is a pitch-perfect piece of holiday horror. Starring Joan Collins, I believe it is the first time we have ever seen a killer dressed as Santa in a film. That story was also remade as an episode of the Tales of the Crypt TV series. So, what have we learned about Christmas horror? Well, the horror that lurks behind Christmas can come from just about anywhere. It could be an evil Santa, or maybe someone dressed up as Santa with sinister intentions. It might be Krampus, the terrifying anti-Santa, or even a rogue robotic Santa that's gone haywire. Maybe it's a mischievous evil elf or a confused naked old man unearthed by some reckless corporation. It could even be a cackling gremlin or a zombie in a musical, or of course a very angry Christmas tree. And hey, it might just be in the house with you right now. Wait, the call is coming from inside the house! He's in the house with you! Happy holidays, damnable delvers. Until next time, stay creepy, beware the trees, and deck the halls with the boughs of holly. Sorry, that was a step too far. Goodbye.